What we're doing is we're getting ready to watch ourselves on TV. That's why I've got the camera on the TV.
The Community College of Jacksonville on Saturday night. FCCJ returns to Juco for the first time since 1987. In the last 13 years, they missed out on 5 trips to Junction by losing the Florida State Championship game. A great run of 5 wins in a row qualified them for the postseason. Continuing their hot play is the goal this week.
These teams has a story here, Mark, and over the next few days we'll try to bring you some of these individual and interesting stories. The 43rd Annual Junior College Baseball World Series kicks up first dust on Saturday morning. Many of the teams have already hit the practice fields. Joe Downs has the story of the first-timers, the old-timer, and the please no more time in the bus guys.
Motlow State Parks of Tennessee, the Meridian Community College Eagles of Mississippi, and the Florida Community College of
you as a leader for all of us. What is your role specifically in trying to bring about peace in these areas?
Juco tournament fans are rolling in and bringing cash. They better.
Encouraged that the continent should move to a democratic system of government. Trying to encourage the continent to move away from the notion that there is any legitimacy.
They're playing pretty good ball, of course, with 18 and 19-year-old kids.
Here we have Luke Van Winkle signing an autograph.
Come on, play, buddy. You come to the game? You don't know? I bet your mom will take the ass for real
We're going to have pictures made at the field. Get you a shot of these canyons back here. Most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And what do you think, Justin Nolan?
I think we're fixing to go get a damn picture made. That's what I think.
Dave, how you doing?
Looks like my windshield is about to drive.
Asked for Swinton and Denver. Asked for it every time we stop. They don't have it.
Welcome out my Banquet fans. Grand Junction, Colorado. Back, Kenny. Place is nice. Joshua Wayne Reese. Reese feeling kind of bad this morning. I think we drank a lot of beer last night. Alright, what do we got here? This place ain't that big. Stuff ain't gonna fly out of this joint. And now, folks, we're taking a look at the Grand Junction, Colorado baseball field. Thanks for watching. Motlow Bucks are going to win a national championship here in about 10 days. It's 3:02 down the line. Left, 4:10. Out there, next to KNZZ, 400 in center.
Keep on getting people's heads in the way.
390 in the right power outage.
What are you doing?
340 in the other part. 330 down the line.
We are atop the left field bleachers here. There's everybody down there. Stadium's nice. See the way it's supposed to be, I guess you see. Behind the field you can see the cliffs back here, the mountains. Sweet. Balls are gonna fly out of here. It's only 302 feet down the lines and left. Only 400 in center. This thin air. It'd be like playing at Little League Park. Time to go. Come on. Oh, I'm still filming. I didn't realize that. Dun, dun. Man, I'm gonna run out of tape before he even speaks. Check this out. Right here. Oh yeah. Women payload slow How you guys doing? Alright, I'm fine right here. I got Zoom.
So not only has he been a great baseball player, but he's a great person based on my interpretation at this particular point. He's the greatest player in Kansas City Royals history. He's the career leader in every Royals offensive category except stealing second base or any other base. The only player in the history of Major League Baseball to win 3 batting titles in 3 different decades. He has 3,000 hits, 300 home runs, 600 doubles, 100 triples, and 200 stolen bases. He's here tonight to steal your baseball heart. So please join me in a huge Grand Junction welcome to George Brett.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old at home. So for me to get out of the house one night, I should be giving you a standing ovation. I should be giving Sam Simplicio a standing ovation for being so persistent in me coming to this dinner this year. But it is indeed an honor for me to come here and be the guest speaker. I know a lot of the speakers that have been here in the past. Robin Yount, who played for Sam. Paul Molitor, who played for Sam. Tommy Lasorda was a very, very good friend of mine. Reggie Jackson, I believe, has been here, correct? Who was here when Reggie was here? Raise your hand, please. Reggie's a pretty good player, isn't he? He told you he was a pretty good player. I know he told you he was a good player. Because every time I see Reggie, he reminds me how good a player he once was. When Sam called me to come to this dinner, he called me about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, and ladies and gentlemen, after the year I had last year with the Hall of Fame, and it was the busiest summer of my life, I made a promise to myself that I would not make any commitments that far out in advance. So he called again about November, and I said, Sam, I just can't commit to coming to Grand Junction, or first I think I called it Grand Rapids, didn't I? I mean, I've never gone to junior college, ladies and gentlemen. I've never gone to college. I'm a high school graduate. Take it or leave it. But I was drafted out of high school. And I said, Sam, I just can't commit. I don't want my summer to be like it was last year. And you know what I got in December? I got a nice Christmas card from Sam. First one I've ever gotten in my life. About 2 weeks later, you know what I got? I got a nice big box, a beautiful present from Sam. Telling me how great this dinner is and what a great thrill it would be to come down here. And I'm going, Sam, I just don't want to put it on the calendar yet. Maybe wait a little bit and I will come and do it. He called me the day before I went to spring training with the Kansas City Royals. I said, Sam, give me some time. Give me some time. He called me the day I got back. Sam, give me some time. He called me on a Monday and said, we got to know by Friday. So I looked at my calendar and this week was open. Or tonight was open, so I said, okay, I'll come. Sam, thanks for your persistence. Because it is a great honor for me to be here. Baseball has been so good to me, and when I get a chance to go out and sell the game of baseball, ladies and gentlemen, I love it. I really do. In the last 2 weeks, I've been doing some scouting for the Royals, getting ready for the upcoming draft, June 5th. And I was out in California looking at some junior college teams, and I know why they don't come out here, because they know they don't have a chance to win. Right? California teams are afraid of everybody else throughout the whole country. But I've been out doing some scouting, so I've seen junior college baseball. I've seen some high school games. I saw my first high school game since I graduated high school in 1971. I saw 3 weeks ago in Southern California. I've seen four-year schools. I've seen the major universities play, and in fact, Tuesday I'm flying to Rhode Island to watch some center fielder play in high school. So I know the quality of baseball, and you people believe me when I say this. Everybody that's putting on a uniform this week has a chance to get drafted. You have a chance to get drafted. So go out there and bust your ass, excuse my language, but go out and bust your ass and have fun. And somebody might see something in you and take a chance. There's been a lot of 40th, 50th, 60th round draft picks make it to the major leagues. And I think there's one right now, isn't there, Dan Foster? Mike Piazza, what was he, 66th round? Tommy Lasorda drafted him as a favor to his uncle. A favor, I'll draft your kid. One of the best players in the game. I was very fortunate growing up. For those of you that don't know me, because a lot of you kids, what is the average age of a junior college player? 19, 20, I'm 47. I turned 47 last week. And I came to the big leagues when I was 20. So see, a lot of you people weren't even born yet, and I was playing in the major leagues. So I would like to share with you my road to the major leagues. I was the youngest of 4 boys growing up in Southern California. Very, very small town, El Segundo, California, just south of the LA airport. My brothers all played professionally. We were all 2.5 years apart. My brother John, my oldest brother, played with my brother Ken. My brother Ken played with my brother Bobby. And my brother Bobby was a senior and I was a freshman. I didn't get a chance to play with him because I couldn't make the varsity team. I wasn't as good as my brothers doing anything growing up. In fact, in my speech in Cooperstown, I broke down crying like a baby, talking about my brothers and the way I was raised by my family. I started playing baseball at the age of 7. However, I played a lot of baseball in the backyard with my brothers. They would throw tennis balls at me 100 miles an hour, and I would try to hit them with a broomstick just like you all probably did. I was very fortunate. I got a chance to play on a very, very good high school baseball team. I got a ton of exposure. My senior year in high school, we were 39-1 and won the state championship in California. We had 6 seniors on that team. All 6 players got drafted. We had 2 sophomores on that team. One of them was Scott McGregor, the #1 pick by the New York Yankees, where he was a junior when I was a senior. He was drafted in the 1st round by the New York Yankees, and Jeff Tidwell, the left fielder, was drafted in the 6th round. And the one sophomore we had got drafted the following year. So we had 9 players on our team. All 9 players got drafted. I was very, very fortunate. I got a chance to play on a great program. I got exposed to all the scouts. They were coming to see a Kirk Allison, a Bob Schaefer, a Frank Judge. They were coming to see other players, and yet I snuck my way in there, and all of a sudden I got drafted by the Kansas City Royals in the 2nd round and ended up signing. I was very lucky to be drafted by an expansion ball club, the Kansas City Royals in 1971. They did not have a strong farm system. They became a team in 1969, so I was very, very fortunate to get a chance to play in the minor leagues without a very, very strong farm system. Imagine what it would be like in the last, let's go back 3 or 4 years and put yourself as a Baltimore Oriole shortstop. Cal Ripken hasn't missed a game in 10 years. What are your chances of making it to the big leagues? You know, I didn't have that problem. The Kansas City Royals were searching for anybody that could breathe. I breathed real well. And I got brought up at the age of 20 and ended up playing there 20 years. The day I graduated high school, I signed my contract, and I remember, I'll never forget this day, and hopefully you junior college players will be able to experience this like I did. You sign your contract, you go to the airport, your mother and father walk with you, your high school coach or your junior college coach, as it might be now, will walk with you to the airport, and you're walking down to the gate, and all of a sudden it's time to kiss your mom goodbye for the first time in your life, and all of a sudden it's time to shake your dad's hand and thank him for the things that he's done to get you in a position where you are now. And then all of a sudden you say goodbye to 3 or 4 of your best buddies from high school. And then what you do is you walk down that little terminal, and you're walking out of that airplane and you cry like a baby because you're so scared. $500 a month. It's a lot of money back then, 1971, ladies and gentlemen. 18 years old, making $500 a month. I don't know what they make now in the minor leagues, but $500 was a lot of money to me. But I've never been so scared in all my life. I ended up going to Billings. The next year I went to San Jose, and the next year I went to Omaha, Nebraska, and in those 3 years that I played, I never hit 300. I got called up to the big leagues in 1974, or 1973. Charlie Dodd was the hitting coach, and he didn't say one word to me. He just kind of watched and observed and paid attention, and, you know, wanted to see what I would do, how I would react to everything around me. Well, in 1973, with 45 at-bats, I went 5 for 45 and hit a whopping 125. The next year in spring training, I got set down like everybody else. And then 2 weeks into the season, I got called up at the big leagues, 1974. At the All-Star break, I had 210 at-bats, and I was hitting 200. At that time, Charlie Dodd came up to me and said, "Sky, I think you can hit. I really believe you can hit, but you got to change some things. Your philosophy and your mechanics are terrible. We got to change some things. Now look, here's what we're going to do. We have 3 days off for the All-Star break. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go out and have a good time Monday. I want you to have a good time Tuesday. We have practice at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. I want you to be at the ballpark at 12. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at some film, and we're going to try to find a solution to your problems. and we're going to try to mold you into somebody else. And so we experimented and experimented and finally found something that seemed to work for me. At that time, ladies and gentlemen, I swear I was hitting 200. I ended up hitting 292 with 3 games to go in the season. We went to Chicago and Charlie Lau got fired, and I ended up going 0 for 12 in a 4-game series and ended up hitting 280. But you know what I did? I gave him my heart and soul. I gave Charlie Lau everything I had because, you know what, I love the game of baseball. And I knew if I didn't, I would be back in Omaha making $800 a month. And back then, 1974, the minimum salary was $15,000. I think the meal money now on a 10-day road trip is $15,000. But I got a chance to play for some great managers over the years. Charlie Lau was the most instrumental coach I ever had. I had a chance to play for some great managers. Jack McKeon, who is still managing today, he managed me my first game in the big leagues in 1973. He's managing the Cincinnati Reds. And Jack was a no-nonsense guy, and that Cincinnati Reds organization was a no-nonsense organization. And I'm sure Dan Foster's over there scratching his head, and I'm sure Jim Hughes is scratching his head, and Rex Bradley's scratching his head when he sees the Cincinnati Reds today. They were the last team to go to wearing their hats backwards. They were the last team to go with jewelry. They were the last team to go with facial hair. They were the last team to lose their uniform. And it's really sad. And Jack McKeon is probably saying, what am I doing here? This is not baseball. Whitey Herzog, greatest manager I ever played for. One of the nicest guys, one of the most prepared persons that you'll ever meet. Knew the game of baseball in and out. Dick Hauser, who managed us to our only World Series in 1985, and then left us all too soon with a brain tumor the following year. I got a chance to play with two teammates that I had. John Moffitt, I grew up with in the minor leagues, and I also got a chance to play with him for about 8 or 9 years in the major leagues, and what a great guy he was. Guys, it's so difficult, and I'm going to try to put yourself in my position. Here you've known this guy for 10, 15 years, and now all of a sudden you got to play for him. Very, very difficult. And then I got a chance to play for one of my all-time favorite teammates, the guy that I think taught me more about the game of baseball than anyone else, Hal McRae. Hal McRae, who I consider right now is the best hitting coach in all of baseball for the Philadelphia Phillies, taught me how to play the game of baseball. He taught me not to be content. He taught me how to stretch a single into a double just by watching. He never pulled me over and said, hey, this is how you should play. I watched him. He taught me how to stretch doubles into triples. He taught me how to break up a double play clean, sometimes dirty, in the right situation. Right, Jim? Sometimes, not very often. But Hal taught me so much, and the one thing that I really admired about Hal was that he was never in a hurry to go home after the game. You know, in the big leagues, they have spreads, which is a huge meal, kind of like we had tonight. They serve that after every game. They have cakes, they have pitchers, they have all kinds of alcohol in the locker room. And so many guys would get through the game and just shower and split. Hal taught me to hang around. And the one thing that Hal would do is he would teach those that wanted to learn and maybe learn from those who knew something that he didn't. And when I retired in 1993, that wasn't the case. In 1993, I really thought I could still play. I led the team in home runs and RBIs, but it wasn't fun because 20 minutes after the game, everybody was gone. You know, we lost that family atmosphere out of the locker room, and it was really, really sad. I had a chance to play on some great teams. In my career, I played on 7 championship teams that went to the playoffs. We went to 2 World Series. 1985, we won the World Series, and I wear this ring so proudly today, ladies and gentlemen. I really do. '85 was not the best team I played on. 1977, we won 102 games and lost 60, had the best record in all of baseball, but yet we couldn't get past those, probably a lot of Yankee fans in here too, but those Yankees, which we could never seem to get past until 1980, But 1985, that 1985 team was the greatest group of guys, not players, and this is important, guys that I've ever been around. Because everybody cared about everybody else on the team. Everybody would do the little things to help the team win. Everybody was thinking about the team. Guys that went 0 for 4 didn't care as long as the team won. Guys that went 4 for 4 were mad. Mad when the team lost. In 1977, the year that we won 102 games, if you went 0 for 4, a lot of guys were mad, even if the team won. You know, and that's not the way it should be. I was always taught to play for the name. Now listen to this, guys, because this is very important. Play for the name on the front of your jersey, not the back. Does that make sense? You all go out. You all go out and play for the name on the front of your jersey, and it's amazing how much fun you'll have, and how the pressure will just kind of disappear. I played with some great guys. Bo Jackson, probably one of the greatest athletes in the world. Got a chance to play with Bo. Frank White, one of the greatest second basemen you'll ever see. Amos Otis. This is way before your time, ladies and gentlemen, but this guy could run, he could throw, he could do it all. Willie Wilson, same thing. Brett Saberhagen, who is still playing today, unfortunately has had a lot of injuries. I got a chance to play against some players. This is a Hall of Fame, and I feel so very proud to be able to say I played against these guys and now consider them very good friends. How about Carl Yastrzemski, Reggie Jackson, Robin Yount? Boom. I know he's a good friend of Sam's and has been here, but I have to say this. Whenever I mention Robin's name, I always have to say, I played 20 years in the major leagues. And of all the people I played against, he's the one that I enjoyed playing against the most. He is an all-American guy. He felt, and I felt that when I saw him play baseball, I was watching myself. You know, our friendship has grown over the years, and it's been great. Nolan Ryan, who I met for the first time January 6th last year. Never said a word to him. Yet I played against Nolan and faced him probably 120 times in my career. I never said one word to him, and he never said one word to me. Ever. Until Cooperstown. It was really strange. Hank Aaron, Mark McGwire. I remember when Mark McGwire was hitting home runs and they would go 450 feet. Now he's hitting 650 feet. He's not using an Easton, and he's not using one of those metal bats from Louisville either. I mean, it's amazing. Mike Schmidt. Got a chance to play against Mike Schmidt in the 1980 World Series. And there are so many more other guys that I played against that. You know, I'm so proud to be able to say that. I played against some character. I met some characters too. Everybody here's heard of Harry Carey. Wasn't that sad when he passed away a couple years ago? I mean, I love that man to death. And I can hear him today. Bottom of the ninth. Here we are, 2 outs. 3 and 2 the count. I want to welcome John Schmidt here. The game's on the line and he's still introducing people, you know? Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, who's a good friend of Sam's also. Bob Costas. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is one of the greatest baseball fans in the world. One of the greatest baseball fans in the world. And if you haven't read his new book yet, get it. It is unbelievable. It will tell you all about the state of baseball as it stands today. Tommy Lasorda, who is baseball's goodwill ambassador. What a great guy. I know he's going to do a hell of a job for us in the Olympics this year in Australia. Ted Williams. I got inducted into the Ted Williams Hall of Fame this past March down in Florida. And I got a chance to spend a lot of time with Ted Williams, and I'll tell you what, there's not a better man in baseball. Here a man has been stricken with a couple of strokes, and he's in a wheelchair, but yet the man still loves to talk about baseball. He loves to talk about hitting, he loves to talk about fishing. But what a great man. I had an opportunity last year, ladies and gentlemen, to do a commercial for MasterCard. And when my brother Bobby, who represents me, called me up and said, hey, I got a call from MasterCard, they'd like you to do a commercial with Hank Aaron and Willie Mays. I said, okay, how much do I have to pay them? And actually they paid me. But what an experience that was, and to make the All-Century team and to be part of that stuff, the top 100 players. Unfortunately, I didn't make the top 25, but the top 100 was pretty good. Anyone who has ever played the game has regrets, and I have regrets too. I call them do-overs. It's like a mulligan on the first tee. I do that every time I play golf. I tee off first. I'm the first guy to put the ball on the tee. If I hit one good, I go, let's play. If I hit one bad, I just put